What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nourish Heal Live podcast. This is podcast episode 11, and today we're going to be talking about self-love. For those of you that don't know me, I am your host, Feather. That's right, Feather. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet. All of my information is in the show notes in the description below. I am a success and wellness coach. I'm an author. My book, Oh Please Be Your Own Hero. And I am a Reiki master. I have over 20 years experience in alternative medicine and clinical medicine. So let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? So, we're going to talk about some stuff today. We're going to talk about self-love. Let me get comfortable here. This is a podcast. We could talk, right? Let's talk. Let's talk shop. Let's talk self-love shop. So self-love is something that a lot of us don't know about, or we struggle with understanding, at least with the clients and the fans that I work with on a regular basis. I've been working as a law of attraction success and wellness coach for the last couple years, and I actually started around about 2015 in doing my research, working with the law of attraction, working with improving myself for myself. Okay. And as I began my journey, I started learning self-love and why it was so important. So we're going to talk about what it is, what it might look like for you, some of my opinions and some of my experiences, of course. And I'll also give you some tips and strategies on maybe how to improve your self-love or some things that you can do along the way to incorporate it into your life for yourself. So let me bring up my show notes so I know what I'm doing. We know what we're all doing here. We're doing something here, okay? So, first of all, thank you so much for participating and for being a part of what I do here across the internet and in the world, bringing you amazing content that can assist you in living your best life, okay? Nourish Heal Live is about nourishing your body, healing your mind, okay? And living your best life. That's what it's about. And it's about wholeness, body, mind, and spirit. And one of the major components when we first begin on our journey of evolution of self-evolution, self-love is the most important concept to get right, and to get it right from the beginning. Okay? So self-love is an essential aspect of living a healthy life and living your best life and being your own hero. Okay? And to feel fulfilled in life, in your life, as you continue to go along your life's journey, along your life's path. Yet it's something that we pretty much struggle with on a regular basis, to be honest with you. I know I did. It took me many moons to get it right, and I don't know if I've gotten it right yet. It's an evolutional thing. It is very important because it helps us define who we are. It helps us to determine what we will and will not accept. It's very important. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So in this episode, we're diving into this episode of self-love and what it actually is, why it's important for you, for me, for all of us, for everyone, and some practical tips on how you can cultivate self-love in your life, right? So let's get a little bit deeper on the subject. So what is it? Feather, what is self-love? Give me this information, please. So simply put, self-love is the act of caring for oneself, body, mind, and soul, you yourself as a whole, wholeness, self-love, wholeness, loving yourself wholly. Okay, you never know what you're going to get from me. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I don't. I don't feel like getting up and dancing right now, but moving on. It is it is essential to who you are wholly to accept who you are wholly. Do you understand what that means? Self-love is about accepting yourself, who you are in your heart, who you are in your mind, who you are in the world, in and how you go about living your life, how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you talk to yourself internally, how you think about yourself. It's very important. And a lot of us go throughout our day and we really just, we don't even think about us. It's all about the outside world, the basic needs, eating, drinking, going to work, paying the bills, coming home, doing it all again. Making sure everybody's taken care of, making sure all of the things and the stuff are done. Okay. It's really important for us to focus on self-love, because the better we love ourselves, the better the universe loves us back. The better we can care for other people, and the better we can live in our environment and in our world. Because when we're loving ourselves inside out, the more we radiate that, the more we attract that to us. Okay. And that is one of the things that I know that I struggled with myself, and many of my clients have over the years, accepting themselves, especially how they look, in this world of social media and status and all of this stuff. It's very important to not look at what everybody cares about, and not look at what the world is pushing on us, or what the social media and all of these programs and television programs and stuff are pushing towards us. It's about, who are we? What do we accept? We are who we are. We're not going to be another Kardashian or another McConaughey, or although I wouldn't mind being McConaughey. Anyway, I'm just saying, you're not anyone else other than yourself. And it's best to stop looking outward and trying to make yourself someone else. Instead, start from within and accepting who you were created to be, who you are now, and then go from there. Okay, so self-love is very important. It's also about prioritizing your own well-being, making sure that you're getting doctor's visits, and making sure that you're maintaining your presence. I mean, basic body care, making sure that you're getting your health and your nutrition taken care of, that you are actually prioritizing yourself amongst the busy chaos of the everyday 3D world. It's very important to make sure that you put yourself on the map, put yourself on the calendar for a few days, for a while. You understand? And it means treating yourself with kindness more than anything, compassion and respect. Respect yourself. Okay? Just as you would treat someone else, your best friend, your mother, your father, your spouse. Okay? It's about putting yourself on the map, putting yourself on the calendar, pulling out the calendar and actually marking a day off of self, not just self-love. Self-love happens every moment, every day. Self-care is things that you really should be maintaining your well-being. Are you meditating? Are you seeing a doctor? Are you getting your checkups? Are you seeing your dentist regularly? These are really, truly things that, as humans, we get so busy doing the regular, basic, everyday stuff, and we get pulled in so many directions, and our mind is, chaos. This is a part of self-love. Making sure that we are anchoring ourselves in our everyday, within ourselves, within our environments, and prioritizing our well-being, making sure that we aren't so frazzled and stressed and in struggle, because life isn't supposed to be lived like that. It's supposed to be lived with love and peace and harmony and balance. Self-love is a major part of balance, because if you are off in the self-love department, babies, a lot of other things will be off in your life as well. Okay, so let's continue this little journey of self-love. So kindness, compassion, and respect for yourself is extremely important. Respecting yourself, being kind to yourself, forgiving yourself, very important. So it involves setting healthy boundaries. Oh, healthy boundaries. What's that, Feather? Oh, this is one for the books right here. Healthy boundaries is something that many of my clients and myself, I'm raising my hand here, y'all. Hey, what's up? I'm Feather. If you're watching the podcast, the video podcast, I'm waving at you. If you're just listening, I'm waving really, really largely. Okay. I can attest that I have failed myself many times. I forgive myself, though, because I love myself, self-love, for not setting healthy boundaries with employers, with family members, with friends, with people that I dated. Lots and lots of situations in which I failed to make proper choices for myself. I didn't prioritize myself, and many of my clients have gone through very similar things. Okay. So saying no is very important. Being able to say no when you need to. A lot of us fear saying no, or we're afraid to upset the balance or to upset someone. We're afraid that they're going to get upset or we're going to hurt their feelings, etc., etc. But in reality, that is self-love. When you don't want to do something, when you want to say no, but you don't say no, that's a major boundary there. And you're crossing your own boundary. You're not respecting yourself. That's all within the window of self-love. And we don't even see it like that. Most of us just ignore it. We just we ignore it and we do the thing, and then we end up resentful and angry and bitter because we said yes when we really wanted to say no, and then we're stressed out, struggled. We're in struggle, we're stressed out, we're overwhelmed, we're frustrated, and and then we're building resentment towards ourselves or someone else. Usually we're putting that blame on somebody else when we were the ones that were supposed to acknowledge that we did not want to do something and we failed ourselves. We didn't respect ourselves, by saying no, right? That's a healthy boundary right there. And it's all in the bubble of self-love. Okay. Making proper choices that honor your values and your goals. Oh, we're getting into this today. Feather likes to, I talk about hard topics. And if you've seen any of my other content, I am a psychic medium. I am an intuitive tarot reader. I have other channels on YouTube. So I have hard-hitting messages because all of my readings, even if you don't believe in tarot and all of that, spiritualism and tarot, and you don't have to. What I do is I infuse my coaching, my life coaching, and my law of attraction coaching into each one of my readings. And I like to give hope, and I like to assist people in pulling themselves out of a situation, because a lot of times people just need a little nudge, a little nugget of truth that can assist them in moving forward. So I do have my Get Feathered podcast as well. All of the links are in the description if you would like to check all of my information out. Check out more about me, including my 2 books at this time. Oh, Please Be Your Own Hero, which is on the shelf right here behind me. Manifesting Survival Guide. and that is available internationally, pretty much everywhere, in print and digital. And The Art of Aloneness, which is available only on Amazon right now. So I have hard-hitting messages, and one of the messages that apparently is going to be hard-hitting in this little podcast episode today is making choices that honor your values and your goals. This is another one. This kind of reflects back on saying no when you need to, but it's very important that you honor yourself, respect yourself, prioritize yourself when making decisions. You know, if you're working with another person, or you're married or in a relationship, of course you work together as a team to make decisions. But I mean, really discuss your values and your goals when you're making decisions. Even if you're in a teamwork environment, speak up for yourself. You have an opinion. You're allowed to speak out. You should be. And if you're not, well, you need to respect yourself and get into another situation where you are heard. At least heard, and you're able to work with and collaborate with other people, especially in close relationships. That's very important, because if you are constantly stuck in a cycle of, or in situations where you're not honoring yourself and you're not respecting yourself, and you're always saying yes when you really want to say no, and you're going against your own morals and values, or what it is you truly want from a situation. Say, for instance, this is a big one. Give me just a second. This is a big one. This really is. I've had a lot of clients over the years, to be honest with you. And I have done this myself. Y'all can raise your hand right here with me. Just raise your hand. Now, if you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel. Pay attention to the road, okay? I'm just saying. Intimate relationships are the biggest area where this is a problem, where self-love is just thrown out the window and not even paid attention to. So it's really important that, especially in intimate relationships, that you make sure you're making choices that are honoring and respecting yourself in regards to your morals and your values. Because I've had a lot of clients over the years that have gone against their own morals and values to accommodate someone else in the relationship. For instance, they are wanting to be loved, they are wanting the attention of another person, and they allow themselves to be a third party to a married situation. Say, for instance, someone approaches them, they want to get to know them, they want to be in a relationship with them, but that person is married or in another relationship. And a person wants to be, say, my client would accept and allow themselves to be a third party to a marriage, even though that went against what they were wanting, because what they were wanting was ultimately to be married themselves. They wanted the relationship that, grew and shifted and changed and ultimately became a healthy love relationship and marriage. So then years later, or months or years later, they became resentful and angry, and some of them depressed and really sad and withdrawn and lonely, because they realized that they went down this pathway with this other person, and this other person refused to get a divorce, refused to move the relationship along in a healthy way, leading towards their own marriage. So that was just an example, but we also have that where people get into relationships with individuals and they end up angry, bitter, resentful, depressed, lonely, upset, heartbroken, distressed, in despair because they're being they're in a friends with benefit situation that the person does not ever want to be married and does not want children and doesn't want the growth of a relationship right there from the start. And that's when self-love is usually thrown out the window first and foremost. It's like, oh, well, somebody's giving me attention. This is real, y'all. This happens so often. And it's sad. You're probably thinking, God, this is really sad. It happens more often than you would imagine. I'm sure most of you listening have either done it yourself or you've known someone that has. And most of you have probably looked at your friends and been like, why are you even considering putting yourself in that kind of situation? You're just stressing yourself out. Well, that's all part of self-love. Being able to respect and honor your own moral compass, your own morals and values. If you want a traditional love relationship that leads to marriage and kids and all of that stuff, well, make the best decision for yourself by honoring and respecting your morals and your values and being able to say no to a relationship or a dynamic that does not suit your best and highest good based on your morals, your values, and your goals. That's a lot of my relationship clientele right there in a nutshell. It really is. But I have been there myself where I've had to, well, I mean, I haven't really put myself into a friends with benefits situation but when I found out that I was dating someone that was married, even though that they weren't living together and it had been years since they had even had interaction, I don't care. That's still a legal document connecting you with another individual. Had I known it when we first met, I would not have continued the relationship. And as soon as I found out, I had put down the boundaries, the healthy boundaries that said, show me proof that this is being handled and taken care of, or we will no longer be dating. I gave the person the benefit of the doubt. And after a certain point, there was no proof shown. Out. I was capable of being strong enough, loving myself enough, loving the person enough to give them the benefit of the doubt. And being able to say, no, absolutely not. After this point, there's no proof, and you're not even willing to address it. Absolutely not. You're gone. It's not happening. Sometimes we have to make those hard calls. Those hard no's are still hard no's based on our morals, values, and goals. Okay? So, moving on. Why is it important? Why is self-love so important? Well, I've kind of given you a few examples as to why it's so important, but basically, when we when we are loving and accepting of ourselves, we experience greater self-esteem, greater self-confidence, greater self-respect, and resilience for ourselves. Okay, we're better able to cope with life's challenges and setbacks, and we're more likely to pursue our dreams and goals, right? We're not resting our laurels on and just allowing, the person that we're dealing with to determine what we do. Okay? We are, how do I say this? We're able to cope with life's challenges and setbacks quickly and easily because we have that resilience, we have that self-confidence, and we have that self-esteem and self-respect that says, I'm going to go right after it. I am going to take care of it. Okay? And we're more likely to pursue our dreams and goals because we're not going to allow anyone else to determine what we can and cannot do. And again, if you're married, then there's still those, those connections that are close to you where you should have an opinion, and you should be able to work as a team to come to a compromise, a healthy compromise in a relationship. So you're better able to do that instead of just bowing down and saying, okay, have it your way. It's always your way. Have it your way. Being able to stand up and say, okay, listen, this is extremely important to me because these are my goals, my dreams. Do you support my goals and my dreams, or do we need to move on? Do you support my goals and my dreams as I support your goals and your dreams? Can we come to a compromise some way, somehow? But it gives you that ability to stand up and work with another person, especially if you're married or in a close relationship. And it's really beneficial to have those healthy boundaries, to respect yourself, honor yourself, and know what it is you want, morals, values, and goals, so that you can come to the table and actually know what it is you want without a doubt, and know what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to bend on at all. Your hard no's, your soft no's, your hard yeses, and your soft yeses. It's very important. Give me just a sec. Okay. We had a technical malfunction. There we go. Okay. So it's really important for us to love ourselves, because or self-love, it's so involved. It's not just self-love. Oh, I love myself. Self-care, going to the spa, getting your hair done. It's really so much more involved than that. And it's this huge umbrella. It's this huge thing that all of these parts and these pieces fit together. But the main ones that matter to me, that I think, in my opinion, matter and are very important, are these. So when we lack self-love, we may feel unworthy. We may feel unworthy of a great job, of a great success, of great money flow. We may feel unworthy of healthy relationships, of even being loved. We may feel insecure. We may have jealousy issues. We may even feel emotionally unfulfilled in all aspects of our life, love, relationships, money, and everything, which can lead to self-destructive behaviors and negative patterning in our relationships, our careers, and our life in general, with, again, not being able to stand up for ourselves and say no when we don't want to. How many of you have ever done that? Show of hands. Again, if you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel. Okay. Especially, if you're going fast, keep your hands on the wheels. But we say yes because we are unworthy, or we may feel like if we say no sometimes, and this happens a lot. I've noticed this. This is why I'm giving this as an example. Sometimes we say no. Sometimes when we say yes to a situation or to a person, when we really want to say no, the issue here is sometimes we say no, but then they talk us into saying yes. Okay. So we have said no, but we end up being talked into the no. So we still have to stand up for our boundaries, our healthy boundaries. We have to stand up for what it is we truly want and what it is we will not accept. Okay. Some of us don't want to offend anyone, or we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But again, we have a sense of insecurity that says, they're going to be upset. They're going to get mad at me. They're going to cry. They're going to put their energy and emotions on me, which is an insecurity, really, And if we are secure within ourselves, we know that anyone else's contrast, anyone else's feelings, emotions, and all of that, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, all of that is theirs. So if they're unhappy with you saying no, that's their problem. And you have to self-love. Part of self-love is saying, I am secure. I am secure in knowing what I want and going after it, and accepting only or most of what I truly desire. And if someone presents to me, for example, a friends with benefits, and I'm not interested in friends with benefits, I'm interested in a traditional relationship, courtship, and marriage, because I want children and I want the family life, the home life, all of that. This is a main one that I deal with most of the time in my practice, in my life coaching practice. So I have a lot of experience with these. Being able to say, thank you, but that's not what I'm interested in. And standing your ground is very important, okay? Very important, because you can have that person try and persuade you. Oh, come on, well, how about we do this for this amount of time, and then maybe in a couple months or maybe in a couple years, we'll take it slow and maybe it'll get to marriage. No, if you are truly desiring, moral compass here, respecting yourself, honoring yourself, right? Your morals, your values, your goals. Self-love is saying, no, thank you. I want to date someone that knows that their goal is also what I want. Marriage, courtship, marriage, children, family life, home life, all of that. Okay. Being bendable is that self-love, that throwing it out the window when you really want to say no, but you cave anyway and you just go along with it because, well, maybe there's no one else. That's insecurity. Self-love is being secure and saying, I'll wait till the next one comes along, but thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So again, insecurity, feeling unworthy. Maybe you don't feel worthy of lacking self-worth. Maybe you don't feel worthy of having exactly what you want in a relationship. So you take scraps, you take the breadcrumbers, the one-sided relationships, the third-party situations, you accept it. Switching that and actually focusing on loving yourself and making proper choices for yourself, prioritizing yourself. It's very important. Okay? Because if you bend and you go against your own judgments, your own morals, you disrespect yourself, you're going to end up feeling unfulfilled. You're going to feel ashamed sometimes. You're going to feel guilty sometimes. And that can lead to a lot of problems internally, mentally, internally, from what I've noticed, what I've experienced and what I've noticed. And that's part of the self-destructive behaviors. You want to say no, but you're afraid to, or you're feeling too insecure, or you don't feel worthy of. Maybe you don't even know that you're feeling unworthy or that it's insecurity. Now, it could be jealousy or envy. All of those things are a culmination of the fact that you're not getting what you want. It's called unfulfillment. The resentments, the rage, the anger, the shame, the blame, all of those are a culmination of you going against your own, you're going against yourself, your values, your morals. You're disrespecting yourself, dishonoring yourself. You're feeling insecure or unworthy. And it shows up in those unhealthy, destructive patterns where you're angry, frustrated, resentful because, well, you should have told your boss that you weren't going to work every weekend for the last 3 months when you really needed the time off to spend at home with your family. Maybe you didn't need to say no, So sometimes we look at the dollar signs and sometimes we want to look good for the boss, whatever it is. But inside, we're really saying, no, I just need a day off. I just need a day off. Just let me just sleep late and watch movies all day. Let me just catch up on my laundry, something. Okay. So for each one of us, it's going to be different, but those are destructive behaviors that we can get into where we feel envious or insecure or jealous. Jealousy can show up when you realize that person in one of my examples was in a marriage or in another relationship, and you're accepting the friends with benefits or the third party situation, and then you become jealous or envious that they're in the relationship. They're married. They're staying married because of the kids or because it's better financially. You're actually going against yourself, and you're creating these destructive behaviors and negative patterns within yourself, because all you have to do is say, I am no longer accepting this. Wherever you are in that moment, you can always self-love, and you can honor and respect yourself by making a choice that prioritizes you. You can go to your boss and say, hey, I appreciate you letting me work overtime for the last 3 months, but I need some time off. Maybe you can ask someone else for a while. But I do appreciate you allowing me to do that. You can also go to the third party situations and say, you know what, I am no longer allowing this. I no longer accept this. In the beginning, I thought maybe within a couple months or so, or within the first year or so, things would change. But I'm not wasting any more of my time. I'm not wasting any more of your time. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm going in a different direction. I know what I want. Thanks again. Goodbye. So at any given time, at any given moment, in any given situation, you can choose to prioritize yourself, and you can choose to put in those healthy boundaries. It's not something that you have to work on and work on and work on, and then one day it all happens. At any given moment, at any given time, you can start implementing these healthy boundaries, these healthy choices, this self-love into your life. Okay. And the more you start to do it, the more you'll do it. And then eventually you won't even have to think about it. It's just a thing that you do. That self-love is a muscle, if you will. And the more you strength train on that self-love muscle, it just happens. You're going to know automatically what you will and will not accept. You're going to prioritize yourself, respect yourself in all of your choices and decisions in all situations. It's just going to happen. It does take practice, but it can get stronger and get to the point where eventually you just don't even need, you don't even need to think about it anymore. It's just improved. It's improved. It's strengthened, and loving yourself is very important. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit about how you can prioritize it, in your life, how you can cultivate self-love and prioritize yourself each and every day, or more and more each and every day. Okay. So here's a few practical tips, but like I said before, practicing it and strengthening it, eventually it will become a part of you. I mean, it's already a part of you, but practicing it, strengthening it, and then eventually you're just not even going to think about it because it's going to be there. It's going to be strong. It's going to be self-love. It's going to be the thing. Okay. It's just going to be a part of you. It's going to be strengthened to the point where you just don't have to even think or practice it because you do it every day, So self-care practices. Self-care is an activity or an event or something that you can do that nourishes your body, mind, and spirit. Okay, so these could be anything from taking relaxing baths to practicing yoga or meditation to spending time in nature, with your family, with your children, one-on-one with your children, with your partners, quality time, QT time. Okay. Making sure that you are going to your checkups and your annual visits, ladies. dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, and making sure that you are actually taking care of your nourishment, your health, and your body. Okay, choosing better foods, eating cleaner foods, clean foods, a healthier diet, choosing better options when possible. Okay. Another one is to challenge negative self-talk. This is a big one. Okay. But challenge negative self-talk. This book, Oh Please Be Your Own Hero, the Manifesting Survival Guide, that I wrote, I have so many strategies and tips in there, and I walk you through it A to Z. It's very easy to understand, and I teach you what you do that you get, how you get in your own way in regards to things and people in your life. It is more of a self-help book, but it is from a life coaching standpoint, but it is involving or discussing manifesting and the law of attraction. But there's a lot of different components in the book. You should check it out. So negative self-talk is a really big thing. Okay. We all have these inner critics, and we're always constantly in our heads all day, every day. Right. And that's like the inner critic tells us, we're not good enough. We're not smart enough. Nobody likes us. We're not pretty enough. We're not handsome enough. We're ugly. We have issues. And not only do you say that stuff internally, you actually joke about it or talk about it to other people. And even when you're talking to other people, that is still negative talk. It's negative self-talk, meaning it's about you. And allowing other people to talk negatively about you is the same thing, when you should have that self-respect and that security within yourself that says, hold on a second. Who do you think you are? Number one, first of all, your opinion doesn't matter. And I don't receive that from you. Or, excuse me, you have, there's no reason why you need to be talking about me in that manner. But being secure in yourself, when somebody does, you don't take offense to it because, well, you know who you are, right? Self-love. When you believe these negative thoughts that you think, whether it's your ass is too big or your hair is too thin, I don't know what it is y'all think about. You know what it is you think about, and you continually repeat these things in your mind. You say these things. You allow people to say these things to you. You reinforce the feelings of shame, blame, guilt, inadequacy, insecurity, jealousy, whatever it may be. You continue to repeat these things inside of yourself, the self-talk that basically tells the universe, that definitely tells your subconscious and yourself that you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not, So it's very important to begin catching yourself when you are thinking negatively or speaking negatively about yourself, to counteract this. Okay. So just try catching it, and at least first, and just shutting it down. So say, you're out shopping for a new dress or a new outfit, and you're just like, you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I wouldn't look good in this, or I would. Stop it right then. Just be like, you know what? I'm going to try it on. I'm going to see if it looks good on me. And if it doesn't look good on me, there's plenty of other dresses that will. There's plenty of other outfits that will. So if it doesn't look good on me, if it doesn't look great on me, if I don't love it, there's plenty of other ones that will. So it's just start to begin shutting it down when you notice how you're thinking about yourself. You might be crying and in tears after a breakup and just beating yourself up and just talking inside of yourself, thinking so much negativity about yourself. I didn't do enough. I didn't love him enough. I wasn't good enough. I didn't whatever in the bedroom enough. I didn't whatever. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it and counteract it. Knowing who you are and knowing what you did do in the relationship. I know that I did this in the relationship. I know I stood up for this person. I know I paid the bills for this. I did this. I did that. And just start listing off the things that you know you did, that you were good at. And just start flipping it to a more positive mindset, but catching it when you're doing it. And especially if you're in groups of people where you start saying something negative, or somebody else starts a negative conversation, you need to get out of that. Don't even get involved in it. Walk away. Or sometimes we need to change our friendship circle, because some people are just so negative. You can't change them, but you can change yourself. You don't have to leave them behind, but you don't have to hang out with them so much. And when they do start the negativity, you don't have to play a part in it. You can walk away. You can go dance, or you can go hang out with somebody else, or, go meditate by yourself for a while, that kind of stuff. So just start trying to catch it early and try to reframe the negative thoughts into positive ones, and practice self-compassion instead of self-judgment and belittling and gaslighting. That's horrible. Don't do that, okay? Set boundaries. Yes, boundaries are a way of honoring your own needs and protecting your time and energy, okay? So this involves saying no when you need to. When you absolutely know it's a no for you, say no, okay? And having the strength and the courage to say no. It's very important. Being secure within yourself enough to say, I'm not going to involve myself in that. It's not something that I truly desire. It's not something that I want. It's not a part of my goal package, and it's not a part of my moral and value compass. It's not in alignment with my morals and my values. No, thank you. No, thanks. No. And start saying no more often in those circumstances, okay? It's sometimes it's easier said than done. But the more that you begin doing it, putting in those boundaries and letting people know what you will and will not accept, it's going to be right there when you need it next, okay? Communicating your limits to others, what you will and will not accept, and prioritizing your own goals and values. This is all part of that. Saying no, knowing what you want and you desire, what's in alignment with you and what is not. What you are about, what you're not about, and not overextending yourself or bending to what other people want. Actually standing firm within what it is you know you want and desire, and prioritizing yourself in making those choices. Okay. Another really good self-love practice is practicing gratitude. Absolutely. Gratitude is the practice of noticing and appreciating the good things that you have. Well, people say counting your blessings, but appreciating the good things that you have in life, the people around you, the experiences that you have, the foods you eat. I don't care how small, how insignificant you might think they are. When you start appreciating things, coffee, for instance, YouTube, life coaches, whatever it is, self-help books, all of that stuff. I love self-help books. I always have. Anyway, when you focus on what you're grateful for, you cultivate a positive emotional and mental shift. Okay. And that actually allows you vibrationally to change and shift and to release resistance to any negativity that you might have going on with inside of yourself. And the more you practice gratitude and the more you're thankful for, according to the law of attraction, you're going to attract more to you in your life that you appreciate, that you can appreciate and be grateful for, because the universe is like, oh, you're appreciating things I'm bringing to you, things I'm supplying you with, because I supply you with everything. But you haven't really been letting me know that you appreciate it. So I'm going to bring you more to appreciate, because you're appreciating it. You're loving it. You're enjoying it. You're content with it. You're happy with it. Okay, cool. It's going to not only fulfill you when you start making lists of or start talking about things that you're grateful for and showing gratitude. You don't even have to express it to anyone else. You can write it down. You can talk about it inside yourself. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel happier. It's going to increase your joy level, your enjoyment level, and it will increase your mood. It will improve your mood and your well-being overall, because your stress levels will go down, your stress chemicals will, stop pumping out so much and things like that. So it's really important to do that, and just, focus more on what you're grateful for, what you're good at, what you succeed at. Celebrate your successes and things like that. That's all part of that, okay? So that's pretty much what I have. Those 4 practical tips, 4 ways that you can actually start cultivating self-love in your life from right now moving forward. It is going to take some practice, but eventually, once you strengthen it, it's just going to be there, and self-love is there, and you're going to make sure that you love yourself in all things. And I'm not saying that as being arrogant or conceited or anything like that. No, it's just self-love. A healthy self-love is making sure that your morals, your values, your goals, your respect, your self-esteem, your self-worth your self-confidence is all in alignment. Okay? And that includes taking proper care of your own nutrition, your own health and well-being of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Okay, so taking time to nurture your body, taking time to cultivate a more positive, grateful attitude, and for spirit, taking time out in nature, appreciating things, and meditating, and becoming aligned with who you truly are and the world around you, the bigger picture kind of thing. Okay, so remember that self-love it's not a one-time thing. It's an everyday thing. It's a lifelong practice. And by prioritizing your own well-being, you are creating a foundation of strength, of resilience, of self-confidence, and happiness that will actually serve you well throughout the rest of your life. So it's extremely important that you self-love. Okay. So I want to thank you again. I am Feather. Thanks for listening to the Nourish Heal Live podcast, episode 11. For those of you that want to know any more about me, check out my books, all of that stuff in the description box below this video. And in the show notes, you will find information about my website, about my services, about the books that I've written, and more places that you can find my content and how you can keep in touch with me. Okay. I do appreciate you all. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave reviews. I love you all, and I appreciate you. Until next time, thanks again for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time on episode 12 for more of my insights and strategies on living your best life. Okay. Namaste.